Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show, training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse, Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Jumping at liberty to music, making our Morgan horses our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles area. Semi on the big steps. Morgan horse Sadie doing obstacles rainlessly. Morgan horse Sadie being trained to drive a cart. Mini Zebu heifer Susie being trained to drive a cart. Bull Rusty learning to pull a harrow. We are giving our horses more exposure to going elsewhere. Training in different environments can be challenging.
Well, we're here at SCCHA, Santa Cruz Horsemen Association grounds. We're about to unload. Here's our tack room. We're opening the doors. I'm going to show you if there's any unloading problems, what happens, and I'm going to explain to you what to watch for when you do unload. Now here comes Sadie, and since this is a slant load, she was allowed to turn around and step out rather than have to back out as you would have to in a straight load step up. Now we're going to hold Sadie. I guess the plan is to hold Sadie until Demi is unloaded.
Well, I'm just going to wait and see if she's here. Probably not. Hey,
Now Demi also has the option of backing off or turning around. To be careful because of that wall, but no, that's plenty of room. Uneventful. Safely done. The only thing I would worry about is if that wall were to swing back and make a narrow corridor that Demi would touch on her way out and maybe get spooked by it.
yeah.
But that didn't happen.
There's too much hay, I think.
Yeah, Jill is saying that because of the amount of hay in the hay bag, she couldn't quite open the movable wall as much as she wanted to. So that's something to think about. Maybe even unhook the hay bag until the horse is out and then hook it back up. Now, because we want to safely tie on the side of the trailer, we need to move the doors out of the way so they can't get hung up on any of the door latches, you see. All right, and we're going to do the same thing over here for Sadie.
So you can put Sonia's stirrup irons on there.
You want to close that door too?
Yeah.
Okay. There's actually quite a bit of clearance there, but it always worries me if a horse starts to.
So there's more. Seems like she's all right, Paula. Seems because she's standing over here.
Jill is wondering whether there's more clearance on one side than the other. This is a rather new trailer for her, so she's studying it and learning it as she uses it. Sadie's pretty safe over here, even with that door open. But see, if she were to swing around like she's about to do, if something were to spook her on her left side, she might run into the door. Yeah, I still think we want to. Do you mind if I close that door?
No, you can close it.
Okay.
All right, Sadie.
Okay, there was a door stop on it, which falls down out of the way when it's not being used as a stop, so that's nice. And then when I close the door, because there's no center divide in this trailer, no center divide post, we have a special way of, with the handles on these, I don't know what you call them, tubes or posts. They fit into a receiver or a stop at the bottom by just closing the door and turning the post. You don't lift it up and drop it in, you just bring it to the receiver, turn the post, engage the handle, and we are safely closed. All right, now we're going to saddle up and walk out to the trailhead of Henry Cowell Park. Well, here is the entrance to Santa Cruz County Horsemen Association. On a day like today, when there isn't a public event, the gates are closed. You need a card key to get in. If you have anybody with you that's not a member, you stop here and pay $10 per person who is not a member, and they must be here with a member. If your horse causes any mess, you're responsible for doing your own cleanup. But there are tools here and manure bins. To which to take the manure. Back there in the trees are some very nice corrals if you want an extended stay and a place to put your horse. If you're a member, unless there's some kind of public event here, you don't even have to make reservations. There are picnic tables, and there are cross-country jumps, as well as arenas, as well as a very, very nice and new clubhouse. And that is over there where you see peeking through an American flag. All right, now I'm going to go to the trailhead that the horses are going to be coming to in a moment. Now, standing close to the trail gate that goes to the trailhead of Henry Cowell Park, that joins up with Santa Cruz Horsemen Association, you're looking at the view back at the manure bins. And where the trailers park, over here where the corrals are through the trees. We do have a caretaker right on the grounds who keeps a horse here. Nice place to keep a horse. Now, we are close to traffic noises because right outside that fence, which you're looking at, is Graham Hill Road. So you need to make sure your horses can handle traffic sounds, especially sounds made by a truck as big as the one you just saw drive by. But since the whole property is pretty much enclosed by fencing, it's a relatively safe place to deal with some of these tasks of more going elsewhere. Well, here's the trail gate, which will give you a path that's a little bit close to the traffic noise. Might be a challenge. I'll give you a path to the Henry Cow trailhead. And the horses, Sadie and Demi, are heading towards this gate. You will see them emerge right here. They seem to be okay. Now I'm going to go through the gate and let's see how they handle the pathway that's closer to the traffic noise. Here we go. We're going through the gate now. There's some horse people up ahead. So Demi and Sadie will be meeting two strange horses at this elsewhere place. And Demi and Sadie today are being asked to deal with this aspect of going elsewhere. Not only is there traffic noise to my right, the camera person's right, but two new horses. And I assume they're coming into this gate, and I'm probably just going to wait and close it for them. Are you going through the gate?
Yes.
Okay, I'll close it for you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, this is going to be broadcasted on community TV. Is that okay with you guys?
That's fine.
All right. He said that's fine. All right, we're going to go down this left-hand path for a short ride. And I'll show you what it's like in there once I get there. So this left-hand fork has a sign on it that most clearly says no horses. There's a slash through that horse picture. This straightaway fork has a sign on it with a horse, but no slash through it, and below it with a bicycle with a slash through it. So if you want to take a ride through these trees on this relatively narrow but not too cliffy trail, at least at this point, this would be a good choice. Well, the horses are way up ahead. They're not having any problem at all negotiating this trail this time of year. What I'm wondering is, how muddy does this trail get after we've had a few weeks of rain? And that I cannot answer at this time. Probably need to query people who come out here more often. But if you look around, it's not too cliffy yet. It's cool, out of the sun. Probably has a lot of poison oak. There's a lot of trees, a lot of deadfall, which we deal with at Minmore Farms all the time because we try to do obstacles in areas that are more natural. Here's the trail I just came from. Over here, I'm giving you a 360-degree view. You can probably hear it. You can hear a lot of traffic noise on Graham Hill Road. And the big trucks are a little bit ominous to a horse that hasn't been desensitized to such spooky objects. Hearing traffic when a horse is secure at home in their corrals or pastures is one thing. Hearing traffic elsewhere is yet another challenge that you might want to consider before you take a trail ride. Now, if you want to just do a short loop to get your horse used to being elsewhere out here in Henry Cowell, you may very well want to turn to your right when you get to this trail, which takes you once again closer to the traffic. We just came from this trail. I'm going to show you where the trail is right there. And we could make a sharp right here and go back to, I think it was an asphalted trail, but very close to the traffic. Maybe not something you choose to do if your horse hasn't been desensitized to traffic noises. Again, see all the deadfall, which is what trail rides are all about. So here across this trail is a bunch of roots. How do you desensitize your horse to picking up their feet without jumping over? Well, poles at home can help. Coming out here with a seasoned trail horse who simply walks over the roots rather than tries to leap over them can help, especially if that seasoned trail horse is at home the alpha horse in the herd. Because there was a recent Equus article that says, and this is based on somewhat scientific data, that the alpha horse teaches the other horses who are learning quicker than any horse that's not alpha in the herd. Here's a typical traffic pattern on Graham Hill Road. But notice that the road of traffic is out there. You'll be seeing a car come by in a moment, rather quickly, fast speeds here, and there is a little side road which allows you, if you want to bring your trailer here and not access the Santa Cruz County Horsemen's Association showgrounds, allows you to drive down this frontage road and park your trailer right here, unload your horse, and enjoy Henry Cowell Park. Without going to Santa Cruz County Horsemen's Association showgrounds. I'm very close to the road, so I'm sure the camera can help you to hear the road sounds. Okay, here's a trail rider that comes here with her 20-year-old horse, parks along this frontage road, which, by the way, allows you to drive through and come back out on the road without making a turn, and gives her access to Henry Cowell trails right here. And her horse, who's a seasoned trail horse, has no problem at all with all of these road sounds, all of these traffic noises. How are the trails here once the rains start?
Pretty slick.
Pretty slick,
Yeah,
is the answer.
Some road, like gravel roads in here that they allow horses to be on, but they try and stop horses from really wrecking the little trails.
Okay.
And, the mud out here has got a lot of clay in it, so it's pretty slick.
Okay, so it's pretty slick because it's clay soil. There are some gravel roads here in Henry Cowell that you can use during the winter. And where do you get your map of what's out here as far as the trails go?
There's a big kiosk.
A big kiosk.
Outlook.
Okay, up by Outlook. All right. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck with your documentary.
Thank you. I have told this trail rider that this is going to be broadcasted on community TV for documentary and educational reasons in the future. There's another trail rider going the other direction, but that's okay. It depends, I guess, which entrance you take onto this frontage road, then you can come out at the other end, which is great. So even if you're not real nifty at turning your trailer or backing your trailer. It's pretty straightforward getting through this frontage road and having a pretty safe place to unload your horse. However, take note that there are no fences here to the right. There are no fences here to the left. So if for some reason your horse is very, very spooky, fences are not going to help you to contain the horse. So you might want to give some thought to that potentially spooky situation. Well, that's the frontage road I just emerged from. That's the trail that we went down when we first decided where to go. I did talk to a gal on this frontage road who was saddling up her horse who told me quite a freaky story that a horse did get loose here because of, I guess, traffic noise spookiness, and ended up on King Street in Santa Cruz, fortunately without injury. But it's something you really want to think about when you take a horse out of a trailer. Are you within safe fences? If you're not quite confident that your horse is going to be okay about being elsewhere. Well, Demi and Sadie are now arriving back to our rig. I was patiently waiting, comfortably waiting in the shade of the clubhouse back area. And let's see if we can have a little bit of an interview here. How'd it go?
Good. The trails are really nice.
The trails are really nice.
They're really maintained. There's like little side rails on parts that are really steep, and little bits of bridges and steps and things, even like out of wood.
Okay, maintained, side rails, good footing.
Oh yeah, we didn't worry at all about. We didn't realize we didn't have Sadie wear caballos, but it's real soft and smooth, no rocks or anything out there.
Any waterways?
Yeah, we did have to cross the creek. It was exciting.
We had a couple exciting moments, actually.
Uh-oh. What were they?
I guess there's a couple of little bridges that they both kind of balked at a little bit, but crossed. And then we wound down the trail, and to the left it's actually a cliff. And so the trail is quite narrow, and that's kind of the first time on Demi that I've been on such a narrow trail.
Yes.
And sometimes when she gets agitated, she backs up, so I had that in the back of my mind. I was a little bit concerned. We got down to the bottom, and there was a creek, and Demi was going to go first, but she balked at it and started backing up. And there was some soft ground, and she kind of stepped off a little bit, so it was a little bit nerve-wracking. So Sadie gave it a go, and
she couldn't do it either.
Yeah.
I mean, she also was like, Demi's not gonna go down there. I'm not gonna go down there. So she had. I mean, I thought I was gonna get it first, and then we couldn't. So then we had to back up and let Demi go first again. And then she was fine. It seemed like
Demi just then walked fine and walked right up to the water, but the water was running, and the water wasn't very deep, but you could see the ground, and it almost looked like quicksand.
Yes.
And she was concerned. I know she was concerned about the footing, so she actually jumped it. And
but Sadie walked through just fine.
Sadie walked through.
It wasn't that soft. I mean, it was soft, but it wasn't
So after seeing Demi go across, she was okay on going across. Yes.
Yeah, she was very good.
All right. Well, it's great that you guys are back. I'm told that the trails get pretty muddy in places unless you can find the trails that have the gravel on it. So if we come back here once the rains start, we'll be sure to get a trail map and ask around.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Oh, and I wanted to say that we, on the way back, we successfully opened and closed the gate from horseback.
Yes.
I opened it, went through, and then she closed it.
Yes, and it's very creaky, that gate, isn't it?
Yeah. They were fun.
Good. That's wonderful. One experience after another. And we went elsewhere, and we'll be doing some more elsewhere with these horses and with our other ones as well. Well, we're unsaddled, putting our tack away. We're going to load up in a moment, and I'll show you how that goes. We're very happy that we had a successful ride. And Demi is getting a carrot, and so will Sadie. the discussion about crossing the water and who took the lead and who was willing to do it and who was concerned about the footing and so forth, those are very valid discussions to consider when you're planning on going on a trail ride. The horse itself may know something more than you do or sense something more than you do, so you need to decide whether your horse is being sensible or being ornery for any particular instance on the trail where there is a refusal. After a trail ride of this sort, took about a half hour, we still are concerned about hydration, so we're taking them to water with our own bucket and getting some fresh water for them to drink. Of course, if you want to go elsewhere, make sure your horse's trailer, okay, that you can do at home. But then again, if you can do it at home, doesn't necessarily mean you can do it elsewhere. So when you first go elsewhere, try to make it a safe place, a quiet place, an unfenced place. There we go. Demi was just fine. Yes, and I'm sure Jill is proud of Demi's improvement on that aspect of training. And here goes Sadie, who actually has never given us any problems, even in my straight horse my two-horse straight load, step up and down. We're going to wait for Jill to come back. She's just tying Demi in behind that door. Sadie has some treats to look forward to as well. We're very careful when we drive on the road that we give them as smooth a ride as we can, even with speed bumps. Very, very slow over speed bumps. There we go.
Certain aspects.
Those in. Tie them in. Put the grills up. And we're off to home. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl, hoping that you've enjoyed this program. I certainly enjoyed making it for you. www.urbancowgirlchannel.com. All of my shows are up on the internet. And this show will be in Series 2 under Trail, as well as in Series 1 under Sadie's tab.
Our cast of characters: Sadie and Eve, Semi, Rusty and Susie, www.thesokolows.com.